Now, welcome everybody to Marketing Disruption Part 2, 10 practical strategies to leverage video as you stand out in your competition. Andrew, as I begin to share my screen, why don't you shout out to Homeland Title, who's bringing this training today, and then also just kind of share your take on why video and why is that such a hot topic right now and why should we be leaning in?
I love it. Well, yes, huge. Can you hear me okay, first and foremost?
Yes, sir.
Great. So big shout out to Shirley, John, Chris, and Stephanie, the Homeland team, for just leading when it comes to this in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
I think it's important to always stay on the cutting edge of what's going on when it comes to how we get our face and our voice and our brand out there. And so Marketing disruption, it's all about changing up what you're currently doing something new, getting out of our comfort zone, and really trying to make a difference in our marketplace. So Homeland, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here with you. And thank you to everyone who's joining. Now, Tim, you said video, and I know you're going to go through some amazing strategies that every single person on the phone or on the Zoom today can absolutely take and implement in their marketing online, social media, DMs, etc. So Tim's going to give you that. But why video? In today's world, it's more important than ever to connect better, to rehumanize connection. I think when it comes to video, it allows a consumer, a prospective client, someone we want to work with, a strategic partner. It allows them to get a feel for who we are before they ever even meet us. And it rehumanizes the way we connect. And so with that, Tim, I'll turn it over to you for some powerful content today on leveraging video in your sales and marketing.
Absolutely. And thank you. So can you see my screen all right?
Yes, sir. Looks great.
Okay, fantastic. So leveraging video, and Andrew, I love that you say get outside of our comfort zone, because that's what it takes, right? Kind of our, I know it's Nike, but I know you leverage this a lot of times in our coaching with real estate agents, is just do it. You know, I mean, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, we had to really schedule this out, get a videographer to come in, with the old, what was it back then, Panasonic or Sony, camcorders.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
And then, convert all that stuff to digital once it was on the tape. But nowadays, like sitting in our back pocket or probably in our hand right now, because a lot of us get on these things and multitask. I'm talking from experience here. But in our hand right here is probably the greatest camera that was ever created. It's called iPhone's camera. But it really just takes turning that camera on and starting to document some of your day, and then take some of that documentation and turn it into some training opportunities, some drip opportunities, some communication opportunities. So as I go through 10 practical ideas, I don't want to overcomplicate any of this. So what I'm going to challenge you from the onset is listen into the 10 practical ideas and then take one of them, just one that you're going to absolutely go do today. Turn your camera on and shoot today, because there's several that you could literally shoot today. Some take a little bit of planning, but not much. And then Andrew, we'll come back probably in the fall with another series, probably with Homeland, and do more of a in-depth shoot, edit, share kind of a training and some of the apps we use. I know we did that in person with Homeland. By the way, stay tuned with Homeland because they do some wonderful in-person events as well. So we've slated an hour for today. Usually the training takes about 40 minutes. So please leverage the chat box. And as we go through it, drop a question if something, you want to come back to, as we'll come back at the end and answer all the questions in the chat. So without further ado, let's get rolling. 10 practical ideas every real estate agent can leverage right now in video. All right. So first and foremost, let me just poll the audience. Who is using, I'm sorry, I think I skipped a slide, but that's okay. I'll just go over to this lovely lady. Who is using video today? There you go. There's my question mark, man. Who is using video today? And more than just saying yes in the chat, would you go ahead and throw in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10? Like, how do you feel about your video content, what you're doing? If you're like just starting out, you're newer, you're not too confident. I'm so sorry. Give me a second. There we go. If you're not too confident about video and you want to, leverage it more, 2, 3, 4, maybe you've started, maybe you haven't started at all. Just put yourself at a 1. And then if you're like crushing it, you know, maybe drop 10 or 9. I always do 9 or 8 for myself because it's like, you know, I have something always to learn, right? It's even if you're dominating video, I'm like, how can I do this better? Andrew's always challenged me, dude, shorten your videos. So I always have something to sharpen and learn. So as we go through today, I'm a student of video. I'm a student of human connection. And I think there's ways that our audience, you know, has grown up and come to expect of us as sales professionals. And that's, you know, in real estate, that's who we are, sales professionals. And, you know, if we're communicating the way they want to be communicated with, then we're going to succeed. And let me tell you a quick story just to kind of case in point before we jump into the 10 ideas. So this beautiful lady on the screen that you see here is Andrew's and my mom. She said I was the best kid and Andrew was a challenge. No, I'm just kidding. But no, Andrew was actually the best kid. But no, that's our mom. And we grew up blue collar. You know, it wasn't like home ownership wasn't taught to us as a wealth building tool. That wasn't in our family's DNA. Now, as we grew older, you know, dad and mom taught us to work hard, and we hung around some great mentors. And I never forget reading as a 19-year-old Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And my boss, my employer at the time, he was all into real estate and into investing in houses and rentals and all that. And so I wanted to really lean into that. So started growing. And so we've really branched out. And, you know, I feel like, you know, been able to look at real estate in a whole new way and as a wealth building tool. Well, you know, mom ended up, you know, by herself and renting up in Cedar Rapids, and which is central to all of us siblings, by the way. So it's great. So I try to convince mom to move to Virginia. Mom, move to Virginia. I've got 4 grandkids. You have yours, you know, you could like live close. And she's like, you know, Tim, I love you, but I got to stay neutral. I got to be Switzerland, right? All the siblings. So, okay. So you're set on Cedar Rapids. Yes. I'm set on Cedar Rapids. Okay. So the reason I was asking her that was, we formed a posse of siblings that we were going to buy mom a house, and the refi boom had rates down at like 2.25. So I was like, we have to capitalize on this now. So let's go buy mom a house. Like we're her kids, we're her retirement package. She, you know, blue collar, hard work all her life. So anyway, long story short, we get together and we surprise mom with buying a house. Now, she gets on Zillow and started having fun. She started sending me links, and I had to have the talk, right? It's like, mom, we can't get too emotionally attached to any houses. We got to really just kind of look at this like, you know, but at the end of the day, what's the first step, right? The good real estate agents, they call me. What do they say? Let's get you pre-qualified, right? So we need to get mom an application. It was going to be in her name with some of us siblings on the note as well. But we're like, mom, let's get you pre-qualified. So now mom, like, she's not really high tech. In fact, she asked Andrew to sync her phone the other day. He threw it in the pool. No, I'm just kidding. That's a dad joke. But anyway, so she's not really techie. So I knew she probably wanted to sit with somebody. She probably wanted to talk to somebody, right? Human to human. And so, so I was like, let me do some research for you. So I go on Google. We do a whole nother training on Google reviews, by the way. So just mark that down. But I go on Google and I look for loan officers in Cedar Rapids. And the reason I looked for loan officers in Cedar Rapids was I wanted to find somebody local and somebody who had good reviews that I knew I could trust. I mean, here I am referring my mom to somebody, right? Andrew, can you still hear me okay? Just making sure. Sound check real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So anyway, I reached out to 3. I found 3. Now I skipped down past the ads and I went to like 3 actuals, and they had some pretty good reviews. And I just went online. I found their email. Some of their emails were right there, easy. Some I went online, found. And I just emailed, and I just copy and pasted the same message. Hey, I'm Tim. I live in Central Virginia. Me and some of my siblings are partnering with my mom to buy a home. We want to get her pre-qualified. I think I said my mom, Dorothy, to buy a home. We want to get her pre-qualified. Can you let us know what we need to do? So I had one guy, he emailed right back. It was really immediate. And as a sales coach, I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. It's immediate response. The problem was, I mean, it wasn't really a problem until I compared to other people reaching out, right? But it was a long email, a lot of stuff. And for me I'm moving around, I'm on the road, coaching. I was like, I'll read that on Saturday morning over coffee, right? Just in my mind. I mean, we're not in a rush here, but I'll read that over coffee Saturday mornings, long email. Next guy emailed, it was like probably a couple hours later. And it was a very short email, which, by the way, I teach like shorten your emails, be brief, get right to the point. And this one matched that. It was really good. And his name was Tim. I thought it was like a good omen. I was like, oh, that's the one. Andrew laughs. He's like, you're so funny. But anyway, so I'm like, it's Tim. And he's like, hey, fill out this application. Let me know when it's done. And then we'll get on a phone call. So I did like that. I was like, it was cool. It was very direct. But again, I didn't want to like click on the application. I was like, oh, maybe it's an hour-long application. I don't have, yeah, I'll do that on Saturday morning. Y'all are laughing because you're like the ideal procrastinating client that I deal with every day. Yeah, exactly. So no, this was important to me, but I just didn't have the time right then. However, like 3 hours later, now it was 3, it wasn't the most immediate, but the interesting thing was I get a video email and it's literally this GIF of this lady smiling at me. And she just says in like 32 seconds, hey, Tim, Shannon Hall, I just want to reach out. Got your email. Thank you for that. Listen, right below this email is a link to an application online. It'll take you 7 minutes, like right then and there, 7 minutes. It's really stuck out, 7 minutes. And she's smiling while she says it. She says, get that done. Then let's get schedule some time and let's find Dorothy a home. My goodness, man, when she used my mom's name in an email, like I'm talking to this lady across, I'm not even talking, I'm just listening, but I feel like she's talking to me. I was just like, I was sold. The funny thing was too, because that face and everything else, she said 7 minutes. I was like, oh, I've got some time to kill after this or before this meeting. I actually got the application done that same day. So I'm throwing a few things out there because I tend to be a contrarian sometimes, and I teach sales coaching, right? Be first if you can to the lead, follow up, like don't not follow up. You have to follow up. That's where most leads are lost. But be first, be brief, be direct, but build a relationship, go deep. And so while you could say Tim hit the box, why Shannon Hall got the business was she wasn't necessarily the first, but she was the first impression. Keep this in mind. She was the first impression that really resonated with me. Okay. So why I say that, why I share that story is Shannon Hall landed the business, ended up selling. And by the way, we got on the phone. I didn't know a single real estate agent up there in Cedar Rapids. So she gave me Brian, who's a good buddy of hers. So Brian got some business, which made Shannon look great. And then her attorney got the title business. I was a little different anyway on title. But anyway, so all that to say, here we are because of a simple email, 32-second video email. And now after that, did Shannon send me a video email for every communication? No, but she understood the power of the first impression. So video is a powerful first impression tool. And I'll move on here to just share Ethan Butte, owner, founder of BombBomb. That's a video delivery platform that I use personally. Not saying you have to. I am not a paid spokesperson. I'm just going to put that out there. But BombBomb is super easy to use. But he says if there's no emotion, then there's no action. We've got to really think, how do we get the heart immediately? Andrew said it so good. How do we rehumanize connection? I'll share this quote from Animoto. They say video is the consumer's favorite type of content when scrolling their social feeds. And you might say, I'm glad you said social because I was coming to this training thinking about how to do video on social. I'm going to go over strategies to use video on social media. I'm going to go over strategies to use video to build your content, like a library of content online, like YouTube. And I'm also going to go over video strategies that are actually the most powerful when it's the one-on-one, when you're reaching out to capture the attention and the heart first. Remember, you can be to the table first, but the one that's has the greatest first impression usually wins the business. The easy button for video is a series that I talked about earlier. We will bring that one back, but this is just a quote I want to share today. All right, let's jump right in. Number one, Tim, what sorts of videos should I be shooting today? Number one, about their home. Now, some of us are already worried. Okay, what do I do about like me, my personal brand, introduction, whatever? I'm going to get to that towards the end. But my sales philosophy, as a lot of mentors have trained and coached me, is our greatest sales tool is the sales narrative, the sales story. Greatest sales tool is the sales story, the story we're telling. Unfortunately, a lot of us have made the story about us, and it's not, it's about them. So we're going to start, and we're going to start with them. We're going to start with their home. I know some of us pull CMAs. How would it look if you turned your camera on, you pull the CMA, but you turn your camera on and you talk for 25 seconds about what you're attaching to the email, why the CMA is important, how it's fresh, you just ran it for them, and how there's some opportunities for them to, explore. You'd love to set up a call with them to explore. So just a quick short video about here's what I'm attached to this email. It's been a little while since we've done business. Would love to jump on a call and talk about anything, any of your vision with home ownership, wealth creation, wealth building, relatives moving to the area, whatever. By the way, that's happening in a lot of people's minds right now, regardless of interest rates. A lot of times interest rates and the heightened interest rates are the headlines and we buy into those. But here's the thing. Real estate for me is a discipline for my money, period. It's a discipline. My money goes out automatically into my real estate investments and I pay extra on principal every month. So if I have a real estate investment that's financed, I'm paying extra on principal. It's a discipline for my money. And the way I talk about this with real estate agents is, talk to consumers that way. All of us have disciplines. Some of us have a 17% discipline with our credit card payment. Some of us have a 9% discipline with our car payment. It's just disciplines. So interest rates aside, they will fluctuate over time. But what has never fluctuated over time is the value of my home. Like I bought my first home at 21. I had to think about that the other day when a loan officer asked. I was like, I don't know, let's see, 21. And I looked back and traced a lot of my big financial moves to real estate and my moves in real estate. So we got to own that narrative. And we can own that through some video creation, CMAs. We could talk about some of the news stuff out there, about their home, about the interest rates. And we'll get into some more of that here in just a second. But CMA about their home, neighborhood news. What does that look like? Oh, maybe there's a ballpark that the city council just approved that's coming in 2 years. So a development right down the road. Maybe you're not necessarily giving your opinion about it, but you're sending a video out to your database and say, hey, do you like this? Do you not? Right? What are your thoughts about what the city council just did? You'll be surprised how many people aren't paying attention. And I'm not saying that like a judgment call. I'm just saying people are busy. They have their lives, sports. Maybe they heard about it. Maybe they didn't. And you will find that you'll be educating just by giving some neighborhood news. You'll be educating people, highlighting things. And here's the thing. Google doesn't always prioritize our news the way we want them to, right? So a lot of times the news people are consuming is what Google offered up. So giving some local perspective, giving some local news out as a monthly drip or so or something is a great idea. And again, the more you can make it about the neighborhood, right, where they live, it's fantastic. Another idea is a home anniversary. Home anniversaries are great. I think that's one of my highlights when my real estate agent sends me a home anniversary. I think he sends a postcard right now. Next time we have coffee, I'll talk about video with him. But anyways, long story short, I get the postcard in the mail. And it's a nice touch. It's like, wow, I have been here in Virginia 5 years, right? It's like, wow, cool. And so, because I forget, you forget when you moved into a place. And the neat thing is, if you have a CRM or if you have a great partner like Homeland, you could probably ask them, hey, could you pull a report on my clients who have closed with you and, when that closing date was? I'm sure that's in the software somewhere, or you might have your own software that you've kept track of. Keep track of those things. Those are important. It's a great opportunity. And just think throughout the closing process and lead generation process. What did they tell you is important? Maybe there's, we're looking to move our mom-in-law down from Michigan in 2 years once we get established. Okay, make a note on your calendar to shoot a video about that event in 2 years. Just put it on the calendar in like 1.5 years. Hey, I remember you mentioning this. Like, you'd be shocked if you take 30 seconds to add something to your calendar. Like, I add anniversaries of people and birthdays of people. Facebook does a great job reminding me of that too. But I add those things and it's amazing. And people will be like, wow, you remembered. Well, my calendar remembered for me because I don't actually have that sharp of a mind. My pencil's sharper. So you got to write it down. So, but anyway, these sorts of things are great. You can look up neighborhood news. You can look up home anniversaries. You can look up CMA. So this doesn't take a lot of like, oh, I missed the boat already because I didn't ask earlier on. No, these are things you can look up today, right? And shoot a video about. Number 2, about them. So about their neighborhood, about their house. Number 2 is about them. Talked about birthdays. Almost got ahead of myself there. But Facebook, if you connect with clients or have a habit of connecting with clients after, you did business, Facebook's a great place to get reminders about birthdays. But even then, maybe you're not like, this is somebody I want to connect with on Facebook, or maybe they just don't have Facebook or something. So just throughout the process, you have access to their date of birth, right? In the contracts and whatnot. So, jotting that down in your CRM, jotting their birthdays down and shooting a nice little personal email or video email to them, or it could be a text. So I'm going to go back real quick because about their home, I like to send these videos via email because then I can attach a CMA to the email. This strategy number two, I like to do this via text. If you feel like you're at that level with them. But here's the thing, even if you're not at a level of texting with somebody, I don't think anybody would frown on a personalized text that's a short little video. And you can literally do that iPhone to iPhone. It takes 15 seconds to record a short little video, and iPhone does a nice little job. And even if you have Android, it does it too. But you can shoot a little video and text it to somebody as long as it's under a certain length. It's like, hey, Andrew, just noticed it was your birthday today. Want to say happy birthday, celebrate big today. My gosh, it was, I think 3 years ago, we worked on that house out there in the Nolensville market together. Hope you're doing well. Hope the family's well. Have a great day. You could tie it back just maybe briefly like that to real estate, but be careful that you don't send something out that's happy birthday. And it has all of your real estate stuff in the background and you say nothing about their name. And it's just happy birthday. I'm here for you if you ever need anything in real estate, because then you just took their special day and made it all about you. So be careful with that, because I've gotten those from real estate agents. And it wasn't even, you know, a real estate agent I used, but they were trying to get me in their network. And I get those, and I'm like, I just, in my own gut, it just kind of feels off a little bit. It's like, it's my birthday, and you sent me everything promoting Coldwell Bankers today. Like, I'm not, nothing against Coldwell Bankers. I'm just throwing one out there, but anyway, you get the gist. The other thing about them is maybe it's a higher end client and something noteworthy in the news happened. I usually give the example. One of my good buddies was running for Senate. Now, this was not anything about business. This was just an opportunity that I wanted, and I had moved from Tennessee to Virginia. So I'm just continuing to keep our relationship going. Well, the election night was, or the election day was happening, and I sent him a little video. I was like, Shane, dude, you're awesome. You lead from the heart. You're an out-of-the-box thinker, and you're just a business leader that we need in the Senate. I'm excited for Tennessee, the direction. And I'm making a prediction, man, that you're going to take 68%. And he replied right back. It was just fun. He replied right back. He said, wow, love your confidence in me. 68 is a strong number. Well, 68.4 is what he ended up with. So he texted me back from the celebration party, this little video with his campaign manager, and all the lights and all the stuff is happening, all the loud noise. He's like, man, it was 68.4. So he sent me a video back. I'm just telling you, video resonates with you could talk to the governor in a video. It'll resonate so much more. You can talk to a plumber that you sold a house to, and it still resonates just as much. Like, video is your face, your vocals talking to another human being. So don't be afraid to send a video to your, that client that intimidates you, or that client that was easy to sell to. Doesn't matter. Don't put them on a pedestal. Video is the connector. It's the rehumanization of connection. So, but something noteworthy in the news or something noteworthy about them is a great way to do a little drip that has nothing, again, to do with business. That has everything to do with, I see you, I'm staying in the know, I saw the news, and I just want to congratulate you. So make it about them. Number 3, new listings. I think a lot of times with leads, well, what I've seen over the history of we're talking to a real estate agent. It's like, hey, where are you looking? Well, I'm looking at a, opportunity in the Hampton Roads area. Okay, great. And then I usually will get the ask, and I love this because I think you need to ask for permission, or at least to set the expectation. It's like, hey, I'll add you to our listings that go out, right? Which I've always said yes to, because I mean, in my brain, I'd rather have more information than not enough. So I'm like, sure. The problem here is I get busy just like everybody else. And the other thing is, usually I gave my Gmail out to somebody. Well, what does Gmail do for me? Because Gmail's trying to be good for me, the consumer. They're categorizing all my mail. So chances are, because Google's never seen anything come in from your listing site that generates this email, chances are Google's putting that in another inbox somewhere. So here's a tip. Put your name on that same drip, or at least check the box that says CC me when this goes out. CC yourself, or if your automation doesn't have that capability, set a calendar invite for when that first listing list will go out. I guess it's like a weekly drip, maybe a monthly drip, maybe a bi-monthly, whatever you set it for. Put yourself a calendar reminder. Then send a video after it goes out and says, hey, you should have had this land in your inbox. Now, if you CC yourself on it, it's great, because then you can hit reply all, and then reply to the home buyer and do a video. hey, below is that email I promised to send to subscribe you to. I just want to send this video as a highlighter around that and tell you what you can find here. And actually, our MLS site is great. You can just click that link below, go right to it and see other things as well. And you can kind of give them just a little quick tutorial, 30 seconds to a minute of this email. And all you're doing there is using video as a big yellow highlighter around the listings that you promised to send. It will help to pull, and then Google also sees some traction with that. They see the face with that. You'll probably get a response from them to your video because you'll be surprised the response rate goes up when you start using video. And then what happens, guys, is Google's now going to prioritize that into their inbox. So just some strategies with the automation out there. That video is literally the equalizer. I think the recording screen function is great too. So if you're texting, if you're in texting with a lead, you can literally go to your MLS, hit record screen. This will have no volume, no sound unless you splice it up, and we'll teach a splice class later. But I don't think for this you need to. I think literally go to the MLS site, and you know how sometimes seeing is believing? Just hit record screen and then just scroll down, click on where they need to click, they could type in a certain zip code or type in a neighborhood, search, and then they could see it, or search by your name, see all your listings, whatever you want to highlight on your site, do a quick screen recording, 10, 15 seconds, and then text it to them and say, hey, put a little screen recording together for you so you can see right where to go if ever you missed one of the emails from me. So again, another way, you could email these, you could text these, but it's just another way to put a highlighter around another piece of communication that they may have missed. I love what Jimmy Burgess says. He says, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, then a video with frame after frame is worth 1,000,000. Agree wholeheartedly. So screen shares are so powerful. In fact, if there's ever like a login issue, this is more operations now, not sales. But if there's ever a login issue somebody's having and they're just like fighting the technology, a quick screen share with them on like a Zoom is so powerful. Well, a video screen share is also powerful. Like BombBomb has that feature. You could just screen share and walk them through a little tutorial. This is a one-on-one, like I'm servicing you, Andrew, because I care. Here's how you go in here. I want you to be able to find these things that you said were important to you. Here you go. And then you drip it over to them, and seeing is believing. They watch that tutorial. It's literally like they went to YouTube, typed in how to, they found it, and we're like, whoa, you saved my world. Anybody else out there? Yes, we've gone to YouTube, how to do this, how to take Bluetooth, how to get my Bluetooth earbuds to connect to my new laptop. I just typed that one in the other day. So, all right, here we go. Number 4, about there in your community. This is about where you live. Things to do, local places to eat. Now, I use these as drips and as onboarding. So if I'm onboarding a new client who's moving from some place to my neighborhood, I want to absolutely give them a, hey, as you become my client, as we work together, I want to send you I put a library together of moving to the area, what to do. Can I send those to you over the next few weeks? And then you set up just this drip so that you're literally cementing the relationship. You're becoming their go-to. So that's great for onboarding, but think about drips too. Andrew, how many times have we been investing in real estate? We've gotten on the phone with a realtor and literally we got on, they said they were going to subscribe us to a list and there was no ask, there was no call to action, there was no forward motion. Think about forward motion like this. Hey, Andrew and Tim, where do you live? Hey, we're over here in like Lynchburg area. Okay, so when are you coming to Virginia Beach to look at this property? We're coming over to Virginia Beach like in a couple of weeks. Okay, you guys got families, kids? Yeah, we got kids. Yeah. Okay. Tell you what, there's 3 places you absolutely have to take your kids to eat. Pocahontas Pancakes, you have to go. Now they close at 1 o'clock, so you got to go there for breakfast or a later or early lunch. But and like they're talking, and there's like, hey, Andrew, Tim, could I just send you a little video I did? Literally, you could send this to your wife and your kids, and they can literally see and pick which place sounds the best. Could I do that? And literally, you're like, wow, I'm going to look like the king. Like I'm already going to put my wife in this awkward spot of trying to find new places to eat. Like, you know how that goes, guys. So think about doing the work for them of saying, hey, as we get off the phone, do you mind if I text you a YouTube link I put together, a YouTube video about the best places in Virginia Beach to eat or Richmond or whatever, or this side of Richmond, Tuckahoe, Petersburg, wherever you're at in the world. I don't know the hole in the wall places, but I tell you, whoever introduced me to the hole in the wall places, I never forget. Am I right? So don't lose that opportunity. Local places to eat, must-see events. I tell the story about the Roanoke Star. Some of you have probably heard me share it. But I went to Roanoke to speak to loan officers, and I was on my way down there, and I was on the phone with somebody, and they said, "Are you gonna go see the Star while you're down there?" I'm like, "What Star?" There was like, "Are you serious? You've never seen the Star? Maybe you need to go see the Star." So I was talking to these loan officers, and I told them I was on the way down here, guys. I was on the phone, and apparently I need to go see the Star. And there was like this gasp, like, You don't know about the star. Now they're all from Roanoke. So somebody comes up after the training. They're like, dude, you got like 15 minutes. I'll drive you up there. So me and Scott drive up to see the star. And I was like, I got to bring my kids back here. This is so cool. There's a little petting zoo. There's this, that, and the other. But what I came to realize, guys, is I lived in Nashville for 12 years. There's so many cool things to do around Nashville. And a lot of those things I took for granted because I lived there. Where then when somebody came to the area new, it would have been a great opportunity to say, hey, here's some things you might want to do in the as you guys get settled and acclimated to the area. They'll really teach the history of that place. Here's just a cool hip place, this, that, and the other. You could do those, some must-sees. So leverage the things about your community. Again, it's not necessarily saying, hey, I'm a real estate agent, buy from me, but you're becoming their go-to resource. And it absolutely, they'll buy from you. People buy from people. People love to buy. They hate being sold. And people buy from people they trust, they like, they know, they see. So this is a great way to get your face in front of them without ever being salesy. You're going to ask for the business other times. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about asking for the business, but these are drips. These are relationship building drips. All right. Number 5, showcase the experts. I think this is really good. I think at Homeland, you have a whole team of experts. So right now I'm going to highlight this because it's so big. The first quarter of 2023 saw a huge increase in wire fraud attempts and wire fraud. So if you've not, as a real estate agent, done this yet, go sit down with Shirley or John or Chris or Stephanie or somebody at Homeland who can just get on video with you for a minute and talk about their process and never accept a change and never click a link and be on the lookout for wire fraud, guys. And then you drip that to every new lead. You drip that to everybody in your database today because it is so urgent. I'm telling you, the senior citizen out there who sees your face and knows that you are caring enough to tell them, guys, be on the lookout, please. I don't want you to lose your nest egg. Wire fraud is real, and it's how terrorism is funded. Like literally, sit down and interview the expert on that, and then you can just strip that video out. And it takes the pressure off of you to have to talk about wire fraud. It's the Homelands who are seeing those attempts every day, and you're seeing them too. But what I'm saying is they're doing the closing. They're doing all of the verification. They're making sure that if there's ever a change, they're calling to verify with the bank. That's the sort of thing that they want to alert people about. And we want to alert people about. Go showcase the experts. I mean, Andrew, myself, we would get on a Zoom with you, hit record, and you'd have a video introduce. I'm not calling myself an expert, but my gosh, we can talk about wire fraud. We've seen it happen to good agents, to good real estate agents, to good people. It happens. So interview. Then you have loan officers, you got appraisers, you've got all sorts of people who can share. One lady I know just did a wealth building, like 3 things right now, even with high interest rates, to build your wealth in real estate, and drip that out. So wealth building, other opportunities there. Showcase an expert. All right, here we go. Number 6, did you knows. I love did you knows. Did you knows is a great way to highlight yourself without really like being like, hey, look at me. Did you know is a way to say, hey, everybody, it's been great to service you in Virginia. Did you know I just became licensed in North Carolina? So many of you have asked, can I do your work in North Carolina? And I've referred you to good friends, good referral partners, but now I can service you in North Carolina too. Let me know where you're looking. Let's get on the phone and talk. Just wanted you to know. So it's a great way to talk about other service product offerings, other licensed areas. It's a great way to talk about maybe there's a big news event that just came out. It's like, did you know interest rates just dropped a whole point? Now everyone's like, did they, Tim? No, not yet. But anyway, these are great ways to showcase yourself without you know what I'm saying? Putting yourself on a pedestal. So did you know? And real quick, I like to use these as drips. Did you knows? You don't have to overdo did you knows, but I think a monthly drip of did you know? Like you could literally brainstorm, things that people might not know I do, right? Things that people might not know I do. You might teach a credit repair class, posturing yourself to buy your first home class. You might do something like that. Did you know I teach this class? Do you have do you have a graduate that would enjoy this class learning to buy their new home? Or, are you looking to buy, you've been renting or whatever. So you could highlight some of the product offerings here and just do a quick brainstorm of things that people might not know you do, right? Did you know? Okay. Number 7, Well, before I get to number 7, I love Marcus Sheridan's quote. He says, all the techie terms of inbound, when we say inbound marketing, lead gen, all the techie terms of inbound, simply put, is this: they ask, you answer. Just answer their questions. Now, sometimes we got to do a little bit of detective work. What are we being asked by our current clients? What are the clients we're not working with yet typing into Google? What are they asking? What are they asking their current real estate agent? How do I go answer those questions in a better way, in a video content sort of a way? So what I mean by answering their questions is this: think about what they're typing into Google. Now, again, this might not necessarily be a huge epiphany on how they can go buy a house today and get the affordability crisis and the inventory shortage and the rates all solved. It might not be that, but this might be, like I said, 3 things you can do right now with your credit to rebuild. And the video could be titled something that they're typing in. What does my credit score? What does your credit score need to be to buy a house? That could be literally the title of the YouTube. What you're doing there is you're thinking, what is the consumer? Andrew calls this a consumer lens. Andrew is very, very powerful in my life. He's challenged me several times to say, hey, Tim, you're kind of talking over the consumer. You need to talk through their lens. What he means by that is, what are they typing in a Google? Now, I'm saying Google, they could be typing this in YouTube. They could be typing this in Google. They could be typing this in a text message to your competitor. Whatever it is, what are they typing in that box? This is the questions that I get asked all the time, and questions that people might be asking today. You can literally brainstorm and just fill a whole page. And then as you brainstorm, really think about their emotion. Why are they asking that? What are they afraid of? What are they fearful of missing out on? What are the opportunities? What's their vision? What are the opportunities they're trying to gain here? What's their, then when you title your YouTube channel, and these are videos that Andrew and I call like an evergreen video. You're addressing a wide audience. This is not where you're getting on and saying, hey, Susan, happy birthday, right? That went personally to somebody. This is now where you're growing your maybe YouTube channel, or there you have a different playlists on YouTube where one is all about financial repair or posturing for home ownership, whatever you name it. And then you just break this down into some short little videos of you talking to the consumer, answering their question. Hey, hey everyone, I get asked all the time these 3 things. What does my credit score need to be? What if I had this happen in the past? And should I wait? Let me answer all 3 of those in the next 2.5 minutes. Number 1, credit score range is here. Now, that doesn't rule you out. We can do that, and you just go into, and then you upload that into YouTube. Public. This is where people now can find you as a real estate agent in your channel. I've had real estate agents follow this and literally have people subscribe from states away, but you never know. You never know why they found you. Maybe they just found you because your content was good and they just subscribed, but maybe they're looking to move. Maybe they typed in Virginia, and YouTube is going to help elevate you. And also building out a YouTube channel or an online channel. Vimeo also is a great place, but I like YouTube for the fact that Google owns them and it helps with your SEO. It helps with your online credibility. But questions I get asked all the time is great. Now I'm going to tell a quick story just to kind of cement this point in our minds. So my family and I, we love this certain TV show, and we got to go be in it. We got to be on set as extras. So along with like 10,000 people. So nothing too special. Don't think this was like, you're going to go like, Tim, I get asked after I tell the story, like, Tim, what show? I want to go find you. Trust me, I already tried. Where you were nowhere to be seen. We're lost in the multitude. But the era was like prehistoric. Like we had to be in robes, and we had to be in like this, like biblical time costume. And unfortunately for me, looking back, I should have selected, because you could select what you were going to be, like Jewish, Greek, or like you could, and I should have selected Greek, because in Greek you could go like shaven faced, but I selected Jewish. And so to be with the times and the culture, Andrew, I know you're chuckling behind there right now, but that's okay. So Andrew always chuckles with the story, because Andrew, for whatever reason, he was blessed with the genes to produce a really nice goatee, really nice beard if he wants it. Me, on the other hand, not so blessed. So about 4 months in, and scraggly as all get out, we had like a month to go, and I, in despair, Googled how to grow a beard. And the one that landed with me, guys, the one that landed was do not give up. Like, so his title was do not give up, 3 ways to get your beard fuller. And because I was going with the emotion of, oh no, I can't grow, it spoke to me. So what did he do there? This guy, this channel, and there was the other guy, How to Grow a Beard. I think I ended up following him too, but the one that really spoke to me was do not give up. And then he took this really funny thumbnail of here's my scraggly beard. And then here's what I look like afterwards. So it was like a before and an after of him. So it spoke to me, right? So just get really ruthlessly relevant with what your customer is asking and just simply answer it. And then try it in your title of your video, or even if you're sending this out via email, in the subject line, try to really hit on their emotion and then what you're going to deliver. Don't give up, 3 ways to get a fuller beard. All right, moving on. Number 8. I love tutorials. I love checklists. People like checklists. I don't just love them. Everybody loves them. But especially when you're going to do something like buying or selling, or, their checklists are great. Now, a lot of us have good marketing collateral. A lot of us have great brokerages, great marketing collateral, suites of products. And we've created all of these tutorials already when planning to buy, when planning to sell, what to watch out for. We might even have a fraud, like a piece of collateral. The reason we say do a video, and these are really easy to do. Literally, you can take one of your pieces of collateral, print it out, or put it on your computer screen and get a little tripod, or just prop your camera up and hit record, and then just talk. Just say, hey guys, attach this email I'm putting as a checklist, when to buy a home. Let me break that down very briefly for you in case it's just easier to watch. And just that simple, you're talking human to human. You're literally saying, if it's easier to watch, here you go. And you don't read it, but give the overall like points. And then you just go through. Now, these might be a little bit longer form, but the fun thing is you may have a marketing piece of collateral you send out, but if you take that video, you could email it out, but you could also put it up on your YouTube channel as public, as a tutorial playlist. Things to do when selling, things to do when buying. So these videos then can become content in multi-channel approach. But they're great to, again, go out with your marketing collateral. There's a lot of people out there statistically who are visual learners, who are audible learners, not necessarily, they don't read. They don't want a whole big, email or an attachment to read. So just think through that. Checklist items, steps, things to watch for. These are all great when planning to buy. Number 9, or tutorials. So like when planning to buy. Number 9, this is really good for social media. And you're like, okay, Tim, this is where I really want to go. Okay. So social media, think about the word social. What is that? It's social. People do not want a stale open house picture. They don't. Now, is that what you're posting today? And have you ever gotten somebody to say, oh, I'm absolutely looking in that certain neighborhood, I'm going to come out because of it? Possibly. But on social media, people want to be social. And you saw the quote as we started. People's favorite content on social media is video. Let me tell a story of my friend Colleen, and then I'll bring this back. So Colleen, literally, she has 5 kids, so she has some help. One of her teenage boys held the camera, but she went to one of the houses she was listing, or maybe she had already sold this one and got the, somebody a letter, or maybe this was a friend's house. I'm not sure. For all I knew as I watched the video, this was a house she was listing. But she's on a step ladder changing a light bulb. Then she's out on the patio, power washing. And then she's vacuuming the carpet. And she's doing it all in high heels. She's doing it looking at the camera, like with this look of like mischievous look of, I'll do whatever it takes. And literally I'm the realtor extraordinaire. Here's what you get when you work with me. And she put that up on her Facebook page, and literally it got shared. I can't tell you how many times she got shared, how many comments, and she ended up pinning it. I don't know if it's still pinned on her page, but she pinned it for like a couple of years. It was her go-to video. It's what people literally selected her over. Now, did she get a ton of like business from that video? I wouldn't say she got a ton of business from it. Now, I'm sure she got eyeballs from it, and she got a lot of social proof. Social proof is when somebody gets your name. As you know, real estate's heavy referral based. Somebody gets your name, Colleen Martins. So they go to Facebook or they go to Google, just Google, and they type in Colleen Martins because they got your name from a family member. And all they want to see is like, is this person credible? Like, I believe my family member. And a lot of times people will just call the real estate agent simply for the fact that their family member gave them to them. But nowadays, This is something I just want to really emphasize. The consumer has been trained to experience you before they engage with you. To experience you before they engage with you. We've been trained, guys. We've been conditioned. And it's not our fault. It's all of our problem. We've been trained. Google reviews, pictures of the restaurant. Like, think about it. Last time you went out with your significant other to a nice restaurant, you looked at some pictures and some videos. So, right? Is this a nice place? It's a new place. It's risky. Like, is it nice? Well, this is a new real estate agent. It's risky. Is she nice? Is he nice? They Google, they look, and guess what will pop up? Whatever's getting the most interaction online. Google is trying to deliver a good query. So whatever's getting good interaction. Facebook, boom, click on this video right here. They see this video. So social media needs to be more of your face, more videos. So whatever you're doing on social media today, here's the crux of this one. Whatever you're doing on social media today, you're doing an open house, great. Flip that to a video. Go walk through the open house and do a video. You say, but it doesn't look like Susan, who does her so nice on TikTok with all the flash and glitz and glamour. Doesn't need to be today. Just start. Andrew says it this way. I'm gonna say it. It's easier to steer a moving car. Just start. Just start taking some of your stale content and flipping it to video. Okay. Open houses, drive-bys, celebrating closings. Oh my gosh, what a missed opportunity so many times. Go to closing and celebrate the closing. Or if you can't be to closing, ask your title company, Homeland Title, to absolutely shoot a video of the closing and text it to you, so you can post it on your Facebook and tag them. And I'm sure they'll post it and tag you if you ask. So ask for that. And then don't be afraid to go personal either. On social media, it does not need to be all about real estate. You can go personal. Talk about some of your hobbies. Talk about your town, your community. Be you. Be you. People buy people. So everyday stuff is great for social media. Now, you might throw something, a compilation or some form. Like this video Colleen did was so signature, became so signature. I really believe this one could have went on a YouTube channel as a feature or on LinkedIn and pinned to the top. So there's other ways to leverage a social feed. You could put it as an evergreen video somewhere as well, like on a YouTube. So, but social media here for the everyday stuff. Number 10, last but not least, about you. I think a professional onboarding video is key. Professional onboarding video is key. When you're introducing yourself to somebody, there are other people in that party who might not have met you yet. A nice video to introduce yourself, why, who you are and why you're passionate about real estate. Thank you so much. And you might have a thank you email. Thank you for choosing me. Here's what to expect kind of a video, but you also may have more of a lead generation video. That's just an introduction. Hey, I'm Tim Hooper. Why I'm passionate about helping people find their dream home is X, Y, and Z. And by the way, we're going to do, or you can connect with me this way. And you put all those links below that video of how they can connect with you. Or you might put a link to some testimonials online. So however you decide to do that, intro video about you is great. You can shoot this yourself, or you could pay somebody a couple $100 and do it professionally. So I think a professional video, and this is great for like on your website, even like pin to the top on your website, something going in the background. If you have a personal website, this is great to pin to the top in LinkedIn. This is great on YouTube as well as evergreen. So that's a wrap, guys. Let me end by saying, Chris Sandoval says this: the beauty of developing a video marketing plan is that you are making it easier for the viewer to be exposed to the information you are trying to communicate. This is information that's going to help them. This is information that's going to make their life better. And so make it easy. 3 words in business that will take you to the top: ease of use. Is your content easy? And is it what the customer prefers? Video will deliver on all those aspects. You can snap your screen here if you'd like. These are all 10. Just kind of put in a nice last slide there for you. And if you want these slides, we can send them back out. We want to say thank you to Homeland for bringing us, again, like Andrew said in the beginning, great team, great company. If you've not given them a shot yet, give them a shot. And we just thank them for putting this on today. And we have another round 3 in August. So stay tuned for that email from the Homeland team. Get registered for it, as Andrew's going to bring us digital tools, QR codes, landing pages. Again, make it easy for people to connect with you. I'm going to wrap there and look at the chat. Andrew, why don't you jump in here if you can, if you're at a good spot of reception still, and give us any color you'd like to add here, and I'll check the chat as well.
Thank you, Tim. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Great strategies. I tried to drop some of those in the chat for those of you who may be watching this recording, or if you weren't able to take notes, if you're on the go. Just some of the top strategies there. There's, of course, 10 great ones that Tim shared today. And I challenge any realtor to really rethink their approach with video and the way they communicate with leads, with prospective clients in those one-on-one type communications.
Yes.
I think we get so caught up in thinking video is all about social media. And there is a massive place for that and market attraction for that. It's absolutely true.
Yes.
But when you can effectively implement these strategies in your one-on-one communications and your client communications, you know, Tim's not kidding when he says we reach out to realtors for personal things. And it's shocking how many times we don't get asked a go forward question. And it's shocking how many times we don't get any follow-up other than getting added to a mass distro list that shoots you these
Right.
listings every week that aren't even relevant.
Yes.
So, you know, things like the birthdays, things like the home anniversaries, things that are totally in our control to send great personalized 20-second videos for, I think we absolutely need to go execute on that. It's
Yep.
something we can do, and it will absolutely help you stand out. So Tim, great job today. Homeland team, thank you. You guys are incredible, class act all the way. And we're excited to do the next one with you.
And great, absolutely. I just saw the chat there as well. If we can, I'm sorry about that, Ernie, but yes, there's the 10 video strategies. If you can still see my screen there. I think I scrolled past that too fast. And then Shirley, thank you for that as well. And getting this recording out to all of your wonderful agents. So we will send the PowerPoint slides. We will send the recording. And again, great stuff. Andrew, thanks for the snapshots in the chat as well as we went through this. But if you have any questions, reach out to Homeland. They can absolutely pull us in if we can jump in another training or bring something a little bit more tailored. Maybe you want to go deeper on something in the training you heard. Please reach out. We're always open to ideas and taking our relationship with you to the next level. So thank you for being on today. Thank you, Homeland, again. And great feedback. Thank you, everybody, for engaging. We'll see you in August. Stay tuned.
See y'all.